live. I'm so excited. So I am going to, we can see comments on this page. So we're going to want you guys to interact. Thank you so much if you're joining us live. This is day one of the self-care challenge. I'm so excited about it. You guys have, you have a treat in store for you tonight because this is my friend Diana. And I don't believe in accidents ever. And so it was very providential that that we reconnected just very recently. But we know each other because I was her doula when she was having babies 15 years ago. And so the fact that her son is 15 years old makes me feel like super old. But anyway, I'm just excited. I said, so what are you doing now? She says, I'm a self-care coach. I went, what? So like, hey, you want to come do a live for me? And she's like, yes. So I am excited to introduce my friend Diana to you guys tonight. As you guys are hopping on, say hello and let us know where you're coming in from. If you're watching live, put live in the comments. And if you're watching the replay, if you could put replay, please remember that there is a day one check-in post that you need to put your takeaways from this live in that post in order to get your drawing entry. And this that post will have comments turned on for 24 hours and then they go away. And so you have 24 hours to watch this. I mean, you can watch it for longer than 24 hours, but you have 24 hours to post your takeaways from this live to get your drawing entries. Allen, Texas, me too. And so anyway, I'm super excited. I don't want to take up any more time. I want Diana to give us all the goodness. So Diana, tell us a little bit about your story and how you came to be a self-care coach, because you don't hear that very often.
Yes. So just a little background on me. I am a licensed professional counselor, and I've been a counselor for almost 2 decades. And in the last, maybe I would say probably 10 years, I have shifted to more of a coaching model. But how my journey with self-care started right after you helped me deliver my baby. Because I actually suffered from postpartum depression. And one of the things about when I was kind of in the middle of the depression, I lost myself, basically. I really felt like I was in a really dark place. And that assertive person, that person that followed her dreams and was audacious and all this stuff was gone. I mean, I really could not access that part of myself once I became a mom. And so I found myself feeling very overwhelmed, anxious about everything, insecure, just questioning what I was doing. And just, it was it was kind of funny because obviously it was like a really joyous time because I had my son and we wanted a kid. It wasn't like it was an accident. I mean, we planned for it and we were excited, but there was a piece of me that I turned in when I got him. It was like an exchange that I didn't realize happened. Okay.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why it happens now, right now, I can kind of be, I can reflect upon it, is that I had a lot of beliefs of what the role of the mom is. Right.
Okay.
Because I saw my mom completely sacrifice herself for us. And so a lot of times what happens is that we lose ourselves based on beliefs that we're not aware of. Maybe they're not at the forefront. Right. And so that happened to me. And I really found myself kind of stuck. And I want this to be a conversation. I can't see the comments, but maybe I know you can. But if anyone here can relate to a time where they felt lost, overwhelmed, insecure, type yes or raise, do that little emoji with the hand up or something. Just let us know if you can relate to this content and if it's useful, if it is something that you can, that you've experienced in the past. because I think it's important for us women to have that conversation, right? Maybe it wasn't postpartum, but maybe there's a time where, you know, shifts happen. We experience something traumatic, or just a change in our life, right? Just,
Yeah.
it's like when we change lanes, maybe something has happened and there's a part of us that does that exchange. We turn ourselves in for something else. And that's what happened to me. So that's kind of, that really was the beginning of when, if I wanted out, which I did, I really started to kind of analyze and really take self-care in a very, very serious level.
Yeah. Are you seeing these comments coming in across your screen?
I can't. I'm not sure if.
Okay. So we've got yes, we've got yep, talk about it, let's talk about it, been there, done that. So yes, people are relating to what you're having to say. I think as women, it's so easy because we're nurturers by nature. And I mean, it's how we were created, to take care of others. And so it's so easy for us most of the time to dive into what everybody else needs. Most of the time, we're sacrificing ourselves and don't even realize it until we get so depleted that it's so hard to climb back out of that hole.
Exactly.
So, yeah, totally feel you, girl.
And
All
you
right.
know what? No one knew about it because no one knows you're suffering, because a lot of times you're not even self-aware of it, right? It's
Right.
just life.
Yeah.
And as a first-time mom, I just thought, this is what motherhood is. I mean,
Yeah.
This is it.
Yep. And I think that I think it's becoming more and more socially acceptable to talk about it when we struggle like this. But I think for especially first-time moms, not knowing what it's supposed to feel like and thinking this must be normal, you don't want to come across as a bad mom or a failure by saying, hey, I'm really struggling here, because everybody else makes it seem so easy.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I 100% agree. And it's not just postpartum depression either. I mean, it can happen
It's
at any
motherhood.
time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I think if you're a mom, if you're on this page and you're a mom, would you just say mom in the comments or raise your hand? I think probably there's many, many, many of us in this group, because it's predominantly women that are. And I think we can all relate to some level with what you're saying. So as a licensed counselor and a self-care coach, I think it would benefit us if we have your definition of what self-care really is, because I think for so many people, it's, I'm going to go get a mani-pedi, or I'm going to go get a massage, or, you know, I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of shoes, which all of that is wonderful. And all of that is self-care. It's taking care of yourself. It's pampering yourself. It's treating yourself every once in a while, but it encompasses so much more than that. So
Right.
I would love for you to dig into that a little bit.
Yes, for sure. So one of the things that I do when I start working with someone is I address the 4 pillars of self-care. And it's physical health,
Okay.
it is mental health, it is spiritual health, and the environment that you're in. So it's those 4 pillars where I really kind of break it down. What does that look like? Okay. Now, yes, you mentioned going out and pampering yourself. That's great. I mean, I'm not going to say don't do it. Keep doing it. But when we're looking at self-care like that, the self-care that's going to shift your life,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because here's the thing, we can go to the salon, we can have our hair done, our nails done, get a massage, but it feels good in the moment. But are we returning to the chaos? Because that's what, you know what I mean? Like that's the when you're really self-caring, you're transforming the chaos. You are using
that's
it as a
good.
transformation versus just getting away from it. So there's
Y'all need to be writing this down in the comments, because what she just said was a mic drop moment, right? So it's not just putting a band-aid on the chaos, it's transforming the chaos. And I think, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but for me, it's equipping myself to be able to transform the chaos rather than just survive the chaos.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yes, because when I look at like the pillar, an example would be like that, the physical health, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are you feeling good in your own skin? Right?
Mm.
It's not about, do you have, washboard abs, or what size of pants do you wear? It's not of that. It's about, are you physically comfortable with yourself?
Yeah.
And if you're not, because let's say that you're high risk for conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, because you're not eating, you're not exercising well, like those are things that need to be addressed, because if you're not feeling good in your skin, you're not it's really hard for you to make that transformation into maybe the other pillars, like spiritual, like
Mm.
mental, right? Because it serves as a block. If you're too exhausted, you're not going to want to set goals for yourself that's going to improve yourself. I mean, it's
Yeah,
just
that's the
not going to
truth.
happen.
Yeah, that's the truth. And I think sleep is underrated. We think that we can survive on 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. And as moms of young kids, sometimes that's the only choice that we have. I mean, moms of newborns, we know that you sleep any chance you get.
And here's the thing. I'm glad you used that word, because we can survive. That is the
Yeah.
truth. But can we thrive?
Good. Yeah.
Right. Because we can. I mean, trust me, we can survive in the smallest
That's true.
form of survival. We're hungry, we're tired, and there we are, at our kids' games, like, yay,
Yeah.
I mean, so we can survive, but are we able to thrive? And really, one of the things you asked what self-care is, and what I say is self-care is what you do for yourself that really accesses your true self, your best self. So again, I use those 4 pillars to
Hmm.
really help people look at those 4 pillars and say, okay, where can I start? Because this is another thing. We can't be perfect. I
Yeah.
know. Raise your hand if you think you're striving for perfection, because we can't. And so one of the things that I tell my clients all the time is like, we're going to address one pillar at a time. And
Hmm.
there's no like this one first, this one second. It really is more about like which one is calling to you more, which area of
Which
your
one of the
life.
four?
Yeah. Which one of the 4 is calling to you more? Um, because we want to start where you have the most I'm losing the word, but like you're inspired to go and change that area, right? Because if
Yeah.
I just tell you that you have to start working out, and that's not necessarily at the top of your list, because
Hmm.
you're having all these negative thoughts and you have anxiety and depression, then you know what? We need to start with that mental piece, right? That mental
Yep.
health pillar.
Yep. For sure. So, how do you suggest someone figure out which of the four pillars to start with?
So usually I do like an assessment where we just kind of talk about those 4. There's some questions that I ask in regards to which ones are they're struggling the most. And
Hmm.
really, once I describe each pillar, a lot of times, we're like, you know what? I feel horrible physically. I'm always tired. Or
Yeah.
sometimes if it's like, when I look at that spiritual pillar, I'm looking at your connection. And a lot of times women are like, I feel lonely, I feel displaced. So then we'll work on that spiritual pillar. Like, what does your connection to source, God, prayer, gratitude.
Hmm.
And if it's environment, a lot of times where people don't feel like they have the environment that supports them, right? Maybe
Mm.
they want to pursue, maybe they want to go to the gym, but they just don't have that community, then we'll look at that. So it really is based on what is your highest need that's going to get you quicker to feeling better so that you can address the other ones.
That's great. That's great. So this has been so good so far, and we're not done yet. So if you guys have any questions for Diana as we go along, I can see the comments. We're using a different platform, so we're actually not on the Facebook Live native, but I can see what you guys are saying. And so if you have questions for her as we're going, just write them down in the comments and I'll make sure that she's able to address those. So if you were to, and I don't even know if this is possible, so tell me if it's not, but if you were to take each of the 4 and say, okay, so if you have physical, and I know that everybody's different, but is there like a high level thing for each one of the 4 that you could say, this is where most people start to work on those things? Or is that, is it so individual that you can't do that?
No, because we're not that different. I mean, as much as we think we're different, we're more the same than different.
Yeah.
You know, when we're looking at the physical piece, the biggest thing that I always tell people is move your body. Do something to move
just
your body.
Move.
Just move, dance, walk, garden, you know, whatever it is for you, but move your body so that you can start to really release some of those great happy hormones that we have. Exercise builds confidence. It helps with clarity. It helps with emotional stability. So, I mean, there's so many benefits to it. So really, I tell everyone that I work with, move your body. We got to get you moving. You're going to feel so much better.
Yep. So what about mental?
So mental, we're looking at the thoughts. What is it that you're telling yourself? Let's try to really change that inner dialogue. Okay. There's obviously tons of things that we can do. You know, when we're looking at that mental piece, we're addressing like, you know, anxiety, depression, all those things. But just as a general, I always tell people, become aware of your thoughts. What is it that telling yourself every day? Because if you're waking up, I remember when I had postpartum, one of the things I would wake up and I would just berate myself for everything. If my kid didn't sleep, I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I can't figure this out. Or if, you know, if I was tired, I can't believe I'm so tired and exhausted. I look horrible. I mean, it just, this whole negative
self-talk. Yeah.
Then the third one, the spiritual one, is gratitude. Really, I mean, that's the easiest. It's just like, what is your practice with gratitude? There's a lot of research that the more that you focus on gratitude, you know, that definitely elevates your mood. It really can transform really how you perceive your life to be. It encourages generosity in people. So there's some really good things. So if you just adopt a gratitude practice, then start.
Let me hang on. I'm going to get something really quick. So I'm a big self-care person, and I will admit that I'm not doing as good at this as I could, but I went on the Amazon, and if you guys are not familiar with Danelle Delgado, you should be. She's amazing. And she wrote this, I say she wrote this book. It's like she designed the book, and it's called I Choose Joy. Can y'all see that?
That's beautiful.
And it is, it's a gratitude journal. And she walks you through how to do it. It makes it so easy. And then on each page, she just says, you know, spend 10 minutes and just write down what you're thankful for, what you're grateful for today. And so anyway, it's a practice that I'm working on. And I know how beneficial it is for our sanity.
Yes.
Right? Focusing on the good, because Lord knows in this world there's so much negative to focus on. So yes, so easy. Okay, so that's number 3. What's the fourth one?
The fourth one is environment.
Right.
And really, this is about feeding your fire. Are you feeding your fire, or are you turning it out? Are you putting it out? Because when we are feeding our fire, we're listening to podcasts, we're reading books, we're connecting with other women that are also doing self-care. We want to make sure that your environment really supports this. So what are you going to feed your fire?
I love that. And I think for me, I know when I'm doing that. I am my best self to give to everybody else when I'm doing that. And so, oh, that's so good. I just love that.
You
Love
know,
that.
I'm glad you said that, because one of the shifts that I talk to my clients about is shifting from self-care is selfish to self-care is giving.
Oh,
Because
absolutely.
when we self-care, we give more. And I think that is such, like, once you make that shift, you'll never feel guilty for self-caring again.
100% agree. That is another mic drop moment. Oh my gosh, if we can help each other as women figure out that this is not something that we can live without, we cannot not take care of ourselves. There are too many people who depend on us to
Mm-hmm.
be our best self.
Yeah.
And it's selfish not to take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
It yeah.
You are showing up at such a small percentage
Yeah.
when you are not self-caring.
Yes. Yes. Oh gosh, girl, you are speaking my love language, and you're gonna get me all pumped up, and I'm gonna get on a high horse
Yes.
and this live is never gonna end. We're just gonna keep preaching. Okay, so um that's also good, and people are writing those down in the comments, so people will have notes. So tell us, what is a good way to start? Because for some people who are not used to doing any self-care, this is like could be overwhelming.
Right.
So tell us, if you had to tell someone to pick a place, what would that look like?
Okay. So this is going to seem like it doesn't fit with what I just said, but it does. Okay. I love this
Totally
question.
trust you.
What's the one thing? And here's the thing. It is establishing a morning routine
Okay.
before your family gets up.
Oh girl, that's hard.
Okay. I know. But here's the thing. This is why I'm saying this, okay? Because most of the time when we self care out of need. At the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, we're exhausted. At the end of the week, we're frustrated, we're overwhelmed, we're tired. Then we self care, right? But you know what? What would it be like? And that feels okay. You know, it fills our cup a little bit. But what would it be like if you actually self cared at the top of your day when you felt your best?
Yeah.
You will be showing up for yourself first, okay? At the top of the list,
Oh,
okay?
that's good. Show up for
And
yourself first.
so yeah, when you show up for yourself first, okay? Then you're really maximizing your self-care because you're at a better place. You're not
Mm.
empty, right?
Yeah.
You're not empty. So here's my thing. I do 3 things before my family wakes up. Now, again, this is different for everyone. What I would encourage you to do, if this is a hard thing, if you kind of are used to waking up when your kids are like, Mom, and then you're up, or you're like, you're a snooze button person, you know, I get it. I used to be that person. But what I realized is that I was not maximizing my self care. I was doing it, but it was not getting me anywhere higher at that level. It wasn't. It was just always maintenance mode. I was like just maintaining. But when I started doing this morning routine and getting up ahead of my family, where I was just me and I was able to really give myself what I needed, it was golden. I just was talking to one of my clients yesterday, and she has 2 weeks of doing this. And she says, I cannot believe how good it felt to stretch all by myself. Just, I mean, just have that moment where she was like with her body stretching on the yoga mat. So here's the thing. I want you to do the morning routine. I do 3 things. You can, tailor it to fit yours. Mine is I wake up an hour earlier. Now, when I first started this, I started with 20 minutes earlier. Okay, so just, work yourself up. And I can't hear you. I think I lost your volume. Oh my gosh, because are people, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I don't know what happened. Okay, I'll keep talking. Okay, so the morning routine. So start either 15 to 20 minutes, okay? Start there and do something for you. For me, I wake up, I do my morning journal, my morning gratitude. I move my body for 30 minutes, and then I do prayer and meditation. Okay, so those are the three things I do in the morning before my family gets up. Once they get up, guess who's in a good mood? Me, right? Because I've already given to myself. And so the minute I give to myself, when my family wakes up, I'm like, hey, what do you need? I'm no longer rushing around the morning and thinking, oh my gosh, like, go get your backpack or hurry up. I don't have that energy, which has also been really beneficial for my family. Remember, self-care is giving, right? So I am able to start the day already giving to my family because I wake up before them. So I want to encourage you and kind of challenge the ladies in the group to just start to set up your alarm just 15 to 20 minutes before, and do one small thing that you can start incorporating. And of course, I'm a big supporter of the gratitude journal. So even if you just wake up and take 10 to 15 minutes to do the gratitude, that's a great place to start. I can't hear you. Oh my gosh. What happened? Well, I'm glad. Do we want to log? Where are we on? Oh, we're good on time. And I did want to say something. I know I can't hear you, Jen, anymore, but if you guys have questions about self-care, on the replay, if you're listening on the replay, go ahead and put them there. I'll go back in the group and I'll take some time to answer those questions. Okay. I'm like, well, okay. So, anyways, I did want to offer this to let you guys know that if you go to my website, to Diana Guintu, Guintu speaks at .com, you can actually download for free my free ebook on the 4 pillars of self-care. It's an ebook. You can kind of look at it. There's some information there. And then there's like some worksheets, some little things that you can do to help you kind of dig deeper and identify where you need to start. All right, ladies, thank you guys so much for your time.